Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
Morning, boys. Carmine Bianco here from WagerTalk.com with another edition of Stoppage Time. This is a special edition. This is our World Cup qualifying. Qualifying begins on Wednesday in Europe, and we're going to cover 4 games from Wednesday and Thursday. On the cards, we're going to cover the Belgium-Wales game. We're going to cover the France-Ukraine game, the Hungary-Poland game, and Germany-Iceland. Four games across the 2 days, and with me to cover those games are from Sports Memo, Pavlos, Laguretos, and from WagerTalk.com, Nick Borrman and Kevin Dolan. Let's bring the guys in. Pavlos, I'm going to start with you first. Pretty good 7 days for you, up over 22% ROI in soccer, and you're heating up. How's it going?
Yeah, it's been great. I'm coming off a great week, as you said. I got another correct score on Sunday with Valencia 2-1 at plus 750. I won both my NBA plays last night, so it's been going great. And looking forward to a very exciting week with World Cup qualifiers. So let's keep it going, guys.
Awesome. Good to hear. Nick Borrman, I know you're looking forward to these World Cup qualifiers. You did extremely well with the Euro qualifying, 86 and 57, up over 82% ROI in those qualifiers. How's it going?
Yeah, international football is really good, has been good to me over the years. Just love taking San Marino plus 7. You see some crazy crooked scores in these things, but they're a lot of fun to bet on. And having a good night. I was off a 4-0 NHL night last night, so hoping to get going this week and looking forward to talking about some games.
Awesome. Good to hear. And, of course, Kevin Dolan, 22 and 13 soccer run. But the Irishman also, you iced another NHL 5% winner last night. Iced is the right way to go with that. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, good, Carmine. I thought you forgot my name there for a second. There was a 2-second pause, but yeah, as you said, look, 22. Huh?
Where am I? No, I'm just kidding.
22-13, as you said in soccer. So happy with that, and obviously coming off that big 5% winner on Carolina last night. Personally, just got a speeding ticket though, so put a bit of a dampener on my day so far. But what are you going to
do?
you got.
I was only going 160. Like.
Oh,
Once,
wow.
Okay.
Can the horses move that cart that quick out there in Ireland? What the heck? It's like Amish country over there. Come on, man. Speeding ticket. All right. Well, don't worry, man. You'll make some money over the next couple of days, and that'll pay for the ticket, I'm sure. Or if the courts there are like the courts over here, they're actually not even operating right now, so any ticket just gets thrown out anyway. So keep that in mind, I guess. All right, guys, we are going to jump right into it. First big game. Obviously, I'm going to start with the best team right now as far as FIFA is concerned. The Red Devils from Belgium. Belgium, Wales. This game, the current odds on this one, Belgium minus 300. The draw is plus 400. Wales is plus 800. The total is 2.75. I'm also going to mention the goal lines here because as you're going to see across the next couple of days, some of the goal lines in these games are crazy. There's not a lot of evenly matched teams here, unless you're talking about sort of the lower tier, FIFA teams that are ranked, sort of in the 100 to 150 range. So as far as that goes, I looked at the Belgium list just to make sure. You've got to make sure a lot of these teams, their 23-man rosters, have a lot of the players playing. And of course, this one, Belgium's team is pretty stacked. All the players are there. Lukaku got his release from Inter Milan. They didn't want to send any of their players after some positive COVID tests caused the cancellation, but he's there. Mertens is there. De Bruyne is there. All the players are there. Wales, a little different. Aaron Ramsey's out. He was injured in one of the Juve games, and he will not be with the team. Ben Davies and Tom Lockyer also out. Gareth Bale is there. There's images of him in training on their site. So he's there and playing. I'm going to go to Pavlos first on this one. Belgium is favored by 1.5 goals here as well too. It's at 1.5 goals, but I actually think this line could probably move to probably 1.75. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, Belgium, we said it many times, they have the best generation of players. They have done so for in the past decade or so. They've been great. They are the best team in all lines. They have probably the best players in the offense, the best players in the midfield with De Bruyne and Carrasco. They have great players in the defense and a great coach and a great goalkeeper. So, however, when you look at the last 4 matches against Wales, they haven't won any of those last 4 matches. 2 draws and 2 losses. And actually, one of those losses was the one that hurt the most with 3-1 in the Euro qualifiers. So, in the Euro playoffs, I'm sorry. So, I think they'll have a grudge against Wales. They really want to beat them. However, Wales, again, they're not a very weak side. They've actually been great lately. They have 8 wins and 3 draws in the last 11 competitive matches in all competitions. However, most of these matches, they came against the weaker teams, and I'm not so sure that Belgium will have an easy way here. The odds, of course, are very, very, very heavily in favor of Belgium, and I think that the talent in their side, of course, they can drop 3, 4, 5 goals on anyone. However, I don't see Wales getting destroyed by Belgium here. I don't see them winning either. However, I think the best way to go here is the over 2.75 goals, the over 2.75 goals at plus 105 right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, and Nick, when I look at and you look at this group, we got to figure Belgium is winning this group. Hands down, they're winning this group. There's only 5 teams in this group, so they'll play like 8 games. But you look at the other teams, and essentially it's that battle for that second spot into the World Cup promotion section, where you look at Wales, and I don't think they're going to get anything. I don't think we're going to see much from Estonia or Belarus, but we're going to see something from Czech Republic. They have a decent team, and that's the team that likely will battle Wales for that second spot behind Belgium. Any thoughts on this total, or even on the goal line side of this, taking either the -1.5 or +1.5 here?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably make the unpopular pick and actually go with Wales +1.5 in this game, and not for a big bet by any means. I mean, Belgium, as Pavlos mentioned, is scary and can go off and score 3, 4 goals anytime because of how good that lineup is. But Wales is a team that just plays to a lot of close, low-scoring, grinded out 1-0, 1-1 type of games, and they don't get beat very often, first of all. And then when they do get beat, they don't get beat by many goals. They don't get beat by more than 1 goal very often. You look back at their history, they've lost by 2 goals just twice in their last 35 competitive games dating back to 2015. And that includes games against, they played a lot of weak games, but that includes games against Croatia, England, Russia, Portugal, Belgium, who they, like Pavlos mentioned, they're winless against. Belgium is winless against Wales in the last 4 meetings. The other side of that is, of course, Belgium are unbeaten in 29, I believe it is, straight competitive home games. But unbeaten doesn't necessarily mean you're winning by 2+ goals. You could win by 1. You could also draw. Still, I think Wales has the pedigree to keep this thing close. Ultimately, Belgium could win this thing 1-0. Maybe it ends 1-1. I don't see a lot of goals because of the way Wales plays. And if they're going to get a point out of this or have a chance to win at the end, they have to keep Belgium off the score line. So I think it's going to be a pack it in, sit back, hope for a counterattack, and try to win that way. And that's the way Wales plays best. Gareth Bale, you mentioned, Carm, is in the lineup for sure. And he's had some sort of a revitalization for sure this season. And perhaps, that confidence will help him in this type of a matchup. But he's always been their kind of feature guy for Wales. But I'm throwing a little beer and pizza money and pairing Wales +1.5 with under 2.5 goals for a +290 return. Again, if one of those two is going to hit, they're both probably going to hit. So I kind of like combining those two together. But this is not a huge one just because I think, Lukaku and De Bruyne could go in there and all of a sudden 4 goals go up in the first half. It is possible, but I do see it being more of a longer, drug-out match where it's low scoring for quite a while.
All right, Kev, I am going to give you the last word on this one. To Nick's point, yeah, I get the whole goal thing and the unbeaten thing by, I think, their last 29. At home, I'll throw this stat out there, at home or where Belgium is listed as the home team, because some of the times they're listed as the home team, they're not actually playing in Belgium, i.e. the World Cup or the Euros or what have you. But in their last 30 games as a home team or a listed home team, 20 of them have been Belgium wins by 2 or more goals. So with that said, Kev, give me the last word on this game.
Yeah, I mean, those 4 unbeaten that Wales did, the last one was, I think Pavlos said 2016 Euros. That was especially shocking just because Belgium took the lead in that game. Everything looked smooth. And then Wales came back with 3 goals, beat them 3-1, knocked them out. So that will definitely still be, I think, Wales are never a top tier side. So perhaps Belgium overlooked them in years past. They certainly won't overlook them this time because, crashing out of the Euros was a massive deal. And look, you guys covered it. Belgium look on absolutely top form right now. They absolutely dominated the European qualifying group. They won all 10 games. More importantly, the way I'm going to look at this one, though, and the way I'd look to bet it, is they conceded just 3 goals over that stretch run as well, over those 10 games. So their defence was watertight. I'm not sure Wales can score here tomorrow night. Outside of Nations League and friendlies, Belgium have conceded just 2 goals across their last 6, registered home games. And Wales have really struggled up front a late, especially on the road. They've netted just once from their last 3 international road trips as well. So Ryan Giggs will be missing from the sidelines here as well. So that's not an ideal situation for Wales ahead of this one. So I like the under 2.75. That's the way I'd lean in this one. But the play I like most here is Belgium to win to nil, minus 110. I think that's an extremely fair price. I think Belgium shut out Wales here. And I like the value on that prop, Belgium to win the nil for me.
As you're talking, I'm looking up the exact line that you're talking about, which is Belgium win to nil, and it is 110. So you took the words right out of my mouth. Good one. All right, we are going to get into the second game and then a couple promos for you guys. France, Ukraine. Same thing, looking over the player list and the players who are in training right now, they're all there. Mbappe, Giroud, Pogba returning to the team, of course, Griezmann, just a slew of players from the team that won the World Cup, looking as strong as ever, taking on a Ukraine team that, quite frankly, aren't as strong. If this game was in Kiev, I might say, hey, let's look at taking the dog in this. France is minus 400. The draw is plus 475. Ukraine is plus 1,100. The total is 2.75, which is a split line of 2.5 and 3. And the goal line currently is France minus 1.5. But again, if you're going to play these, you might want to play them on Tuesday, because on game day, I just see this France line going to like minus 1.75 and could get as high as minus 2. There's a lot of volatility in these lines. Ukraine just didn't look good in their Nations League. You look at some of the games at home. It's one thing, but they hit the road and they get completely blown out. They got blown out in Spain, got blown out in Germany. Their game in Switzerland, they didn't even show up. It was a game that just recently got awarded to Switzerland 3-0 because the Ukraine pulled out of that game. So they've now dropped, as far as Nations League goes, they've dropped into the lower tier from A to B. In that, Nick, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Come on, Carm. No love for the Ukrainians. They beat Spain. They beat Switzerland. I mean, what? Come on. Yeah, you're
got some
right.
nice women.
Those games were both at home. You're right. On the road, they were bad. I don't know. The side here, I'm not looking at. I did a free play video yesterday on the over in this game. It was 2.5 at the time. It's crept up to 2 3/4 right now, which I still like. If you look at all the recent results of these teams, Nations League last fall, again, Ukraine, I mentioned those 2 wins they had against Spain and Switzerland at home, but they struggled in that group quite a bit. They definitely don't quite belong in the League A. They were relegated down to League B. That Spain game, they won 1-0. They were outshot 21-3, which is pretty remarkable. But that's the only game in the group that finished. They're the only game in the group that's finished under 2.5 goals. Preceding that 5-1 over record in the Nations League, Ukraine went 5-3 over this total in the Euro qualifying, including 3-1 on the road. And overall, Ukraine has played to 6 straight overs on the road, averaging 3.5 goals per game. France should be able to take care of business here at home. You mentioned the lineup they have. Obviously, World Cup champions for a reason. They did. At home they won 4-2 over Sweden, 4-2 over Croatia. They did play to a scoreless 0-0 draw against the reigning Nations League champions Portugal, but still they have a lot more talent on the field than Ukraine does. In Euro qualifying, they had a 6-4 over-under record, averaging 3.1 goals per game, including 4-1 at home, averaging 3.4 goals per game. And overall, France has finished over the total in 7 of their last 9 home games, averaging nearly 4 goals per game. So I think all those trends continue here. I think France probably gets over the total themselves in this one, but over 2.5 at this point, maybe now you have to pay 2.75, I think, are both safe.
I'm glad you kept talking there, Nick, because I lost my audio, so I couldn't hear anything you were saying. But I'm going to head over. Yeah, I was just nodding my head. But Kev, thoughts on this game?
Out of the gate, Ukraine look value plus 1.5. I can't get there, though. Look, Ukraine were mighty impressive over that European qualification campaign. They didn't lose a single game over that run. They claimed top spot ahead of Portugal. We know how good Portugal are. So getting plus 1.5 here initially seems like a bit of a bargain, but that 7-1 demolition job that France did in them back in October, it's really hard to get that out of your head. When you're looking to go to the window to back Ukraine here, yes, it was only a friendly, but Ukraine still had talent out there. Yarmolenko was playing West Ham and attack and so on. And if anything, it was France that failed at the weaker side in that game. Giroud, Martial starting up front, instead of Mbappe and Griezmann, who came on later. So from a side perspective, it is a total stay away game for me here, especially as France beat them 3-0 in the game prior to that as well. By the same token, I don't want any part of France laying ahead starting the side. 1 goal wins against Moldova, Iceland, so on to close out the European campaign, draws against Turkey. So, Ukraine could definitely cover this line also. If I'm betting this game, I'm going to slightly disagree with Nick. I would be slightly on the under here, especially now as it's moved to 2.75. I think we're getting a small bit of value based on that 7-1 loss back in October. And I could see France comfortably winning this 2-0 here. That seems like the most routine score. That's going off at a plus 450. That's pretty low on a correct score prop. Under 2.75 for me here, but look, this won't make my card, so it's just a lean.
All right, makes sense. And Pavlos, I'm going to send it to you, but to the point of Ukraine likely not scoring a goal against France team that are very strong defensively, France to win and both teams to score. The no is basically minus 120. So France to win to nil is minus 120, which is a pretty good number when you consider the game line here is France minus 400. Give me your thoughts, Pavlos.
Yeah, I don't really trust Ukraine here. They did a great job in the World Cup, in the Euro qualifiers, but they struggled mightily in the Nations League. They've been somewhat terrible on the road lately. They have won just one of their last 7 on the road. So they lost by 2 or more goals in 5 of those in their last. I'm sorry. They lost each of their last 5. That includes a couple of friendlies. They conceded 2 or more goals in all 5 matches, and they lost by 2 or more goals in all 5 matches. So, yeah, they are the main contenders for the second spot in this group. I don't think Bosnia, Kazakhstan, or Finland are going to threaten France. So France, they really know that. They know that Ukraine are a dangerous side. They scored against Germany twice. They beat Spain, even though they struggled. So France know that. They know that Ukraine is a dangerous side, and they know that they're probably their main contenders for the top spot. So I think they look to get the job done. They look to beat this to win this first match at home. They've been great at home. Ukraine have been bad on the road with a lot of overs in their matches. So this looks like a France win by 3-1 to me, and the 3-1 goes at plus 1100. So that's That's what it looks like to me.
All right, Pavlos with an exact score prediction there. I love it. It goes against my thoughts of Ukraine not scoring a goal and Kevin's thoughts of the game not going over 2.75. But if we agreed on everything, it would make for a contrarian play the other way, I would think. All right, guys.
He agreed with me.
Before we head over,
hear that.
But that's it.
Sorry, I was saying
before
he
the
agreed
third
with me,
game.
though. I know you missed that on my audio.
Okay, there's a little bit of it. Okay. All right, guys. It's $2 Tuesday at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. $2 Tuesdays is where you can get a featured capper, one of the hottest cappers on the site, on both sites, and get their play, which normally sells for either $29 or $40 for only $2 at WagerTalk.com. The $2 capper today is none other than Lawrence Presman. He had a big 5% winner last night in NHL hockey as well. On the Minnesota Wild in regulation time. He has a 2%, he has a play up that you can get for only $2. And at Sports Memo, one of the newer cappers at Sports Memo, Pure Lock, he has been very good in college basketball and NBA. He also does NHL. He's a low volume bettor, so it's more quality over quantity, I guess. So you can get his play for only $2. That play should be up right now over at Sports Memo. Within those plays, there are some promos available, so you can grab those. And of course, we have our soccer promo here, which is the end of soccer promo. Get all the European League soccer, everything that ends up until the end of the seasons, which is the weekend of May 23rd. So that's over 2.5 months of soccer plays for only $249 from your favorite capper. That's usually $6.99 is the usual price on that. So I've dropped that price off quite a bit. Head over to Sports Memo or WagerTalk, click on your favorite cappers page, and it'll be on the right-hand side. This deal is only available till Thursday, and then I'm going to pull that one down. All right, let's head over to the third game. Kev, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Hungary and Poland. 280 on the home side, Hungary. The draw is plus 210. Poland, plus 110. The total is a very low 2.25, which is a Asian split line of 2 and 2.5. I look at this group and it's quite simple. This group belongs to the Lions. This is England's group. They're winning this group. They're not going to get much, as I can see, much competition from Poland, Albania, Hungary, Andorra, or San Marino. So they're likely to go 10-0 in this group, in all honesty, or one of those 9 wins and maybe a draw at Poland. You look at Poland, and this game actually is important in the race for that second spot. Obviously, into the next level of promotion, because these are the two teams, Poland and Hungary, that are going to be battling for that second spot. And further to that, there's news that came out that Lewandowski, who is obviously one of the best strikers in the world right now, and is playing for Poland, will not be able to play in the England game in the UK because of the Bayern Munich aren't allowing him to play because of the COVID rules, which dictate 14 days of quarantine between any travel between England and Germany. They don't want Lewandowski quarantining for 14 days when he returns back to Bayern Munich. So he'll be playing in this game, but he won't be playing in the game against England in the UK. So with that said, Kev, give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, young Leipzig striker Szoboszlai ruled out for this one. That's a shame, because this game could have really been, a real toss-up, like if he was in there, because, without him, Hungary are a fairly average team. But they are tough. Look, I'll give Hungary that. I think both teams know they're effectively fighting for second place. As you said, England are going to finish top. And with England up next for Poland, they'll definitely see anything less than a win here as a poor result, especially with Hungary's star man sidelined. Because of that, I expect Hungary to set up fairly defensively here. While he hasn't always been the force nationally that he's been for Bayern, mainly because of lack of support, you still don't want to be giving Robert Lewandowski unnecessary opportunities here. And I expect the Magyars to close him down, especially Orban, who's well used to facing him over at Leipzig, for instance. So I think they'll look to Hungary on the Hungarian side. They'll look to grind out a result here, maybe through a set piece later, so on. I think the best value, honestly, in this game is on the straight under. Poland have conceded in 6 of their last 8 games, so that's always a concern. But overall, I think Hungary will look to keep things contained. I don't see them offering much threat up front themselves. And Poland should have a fairly difficult time breaking them down at the back, so under 2.25 for me.
All right, Nick, I'm going to go to you next on this one, and then we'll finish off with Pavlos. Not much history between these two teams, which is surprising, or not any recent history, which is surprising because of the creation of the Nations League, and then there's always friendlies, and then you have the Euro qualifying and World Cup qualifying. So to not see any, any games between these teams in well over 10 years is surprising. But give me your thoughts on this game, and is this? Do you think this is a dunk for the visitors, or does the home side put in a good one here?
I didn't agree with Kevin the last game, but this one I do. Hungary are a tough team to beat at home, and both teams really play to a lot of lower scoring games. Hungary, I mean, in the Nations League, they beat Turkey and Iceland. They drew against Serbia. They did lose to Russia, but going back to the Euro qualifiers, they beat both Croatia and Wales at home, which is no joke. Obviously, those are both very good teams. Poland is ranked pretty much the same as Wales, according to FIFA, both a little bit behind Croatia. I would not be surprised at all to see Hungary get at least a draw here at home. And if you want to bet the side, I would actually take the plus quarter of a goal number on Hungary at home versus laying something with Poland on the road here. A little fun combo bet is you can grab Hungary plus a half a goal. So you got to pay a little juice on that, but pair it with under 2.5, and you're getting plus 185 on your number. Again, kind of like the game I was previewing before. If with Wales, if Hungary's going to cover or the under's going to cover, they both probably are going to happen. And a 1-1 score line is paying plus 500. But my favorite bet in this game doesn't have anything to do with either team. It's just Robert Lewandowski to score. Minus 105 at DraftKings, plus 280 as the first goal scorer. The guy is an absolute machine. If he does not win Player of the Year this year, that award deserves to be just thrown out the window, because all they do is give it to Messi and Ronaldo every single year. But if he does not win it this year, it's a joke. But Lewandowski to score, minus 105 anytime at DraftKings.
All right, I like it. And yeah, if you're going to take him to score, you almost will take him to take the first to score the first goal, because that could be the only goal of the game in this one. And to that point, Pavlos, you're an exact score guy. If you look at some of the exact score prices, the low scoring ones obviously are the ones that rule as far as numbers go. And Poland to win 1-0 plus 550, the game to end in a 1-1 draw plus 500, which is the lowest number on the board, and the 0-0 draw is plus 700. Any thoughts on these exact scores, or you have something else planned?
No, I love all of them. This looks like an under match to me. Yeah, this looks like a 1-1, 1-2, or 0-1 match to me. I mean, Hungary, they have a solid team. They conceded only 4 goals in the Nations League qualifiers in 6 matches in a tough group against Russia, Serbia, and Turkey, which are all very good teams, probably even better than Hungary. They conceded only 4 goals in 6 matches, which goes to show that they're a team that heavily relies on their defense. They've only scored 7 goals in that span, and they have, as Kevin mentioned, one of their most productive forwards, Soboslai from Leipzig, is missing. So they do have a couple of other players that could create some chances, but they heavily, their whole style of play heavily relies on their defense. And so they know that Lewandowski is probably the best striker in the world out there, and they'll try to contain him. So, yeah, I don't see a lot of goals here. You guys covered it nicely. I see a few goals and possibly a draw at plus 220.
All right, love it. Okay, we are going to head into our last game. But before we do that, I want to tell you about a different promo. I talked about how well the guys are doing at the beginning of the show. I'm going to talk about how things have been going for myself over at WagerTalk. And I put a great promo up for the next 5 days. It's been a great year so far. Number one, the last 30 days at WagerTalk in all sports. Number 2 for the year 2021 in all sports at WagerTalk and ROI. And if you go a full year, last 365 days, number 4 at WagerTalk in ROI. It's been a very good capping year for me. I've somehow got through this whole COVID no fans in the stands thing to put out some winners. So I'm doing a 1-year all access package, which goes for $19.99 normally, knocking off $1,000 off of that and doing it for $9.99. So you can head over to my page at WagerTalk. No coupon code is needed. Just on the right-hand side, find the package for $9.99. Click on it, and away we go. The next 365 days, we'll be playing these games together. If you already have a current package, the 365 days will be added to the end of when the current package ends, and sort of moving forward. All right, with that said, guys, let's go to the final game on the card. And then I'm going to go to Pavlos first on this one. Germany and Iceland. This is another one of those ones where the line is it's been volatile. When I did the write-ups for this game last night, Germany was minus 700. They are now minus 800 on the money line. The draw is plus 750. Iceland plus 1400. The total is 3.25, which is a split line of 3.5. The goal line here has gone from Germany -2 to -2.25, which means it's a split line of 2 and 2.5. Listen, when I think of this Iceland team, I have the memories of the Euros in 2016 with a bunch of my friends from the UK in a bar watching England and Iceland. And of course, I couldn't tell them that I was on Iceland in that game, and Iceland knocked them off before losing to France. But they haven't done anything since. I hate to say it. Their only wins in the last 3-4 years have come against. They haven't beaten the top side. Let's put it that way. And over the last year, their only wins have come against Canada, El Salvador, and Moldova. Neither one of those teams instills fear in your hearts, I would think. We know Germany wants to put 2018 World Cup behind them. They crashed out of the group stages. They lost that first game to Mexico 1-0. They lost the final game, I think it was to South Korea 2-0. They want to put it behind them. But this is a group where they should roll over. I'm sorry, no disrespect to the other teams, but Romania, North Macedonia, Armenia, Iceland, Liechtenstein. This is a group where Germany should very well win all 10 games, if not 9 with a draw. I just don't see them dropping any games here. Pavlos, give me your thoughts on this game.
The major point for this game is that Iceland are missing their best player. He's by far their best player. I'm talking about Everton's Gylfi Sigurdsson. He's by far the best player in that team. He creates chances. He's the set piece taker. He creates goals. He scores goals. But unfortunately, he's not here. If he was here, we'd be having a totally different discussion. But now that he isn't, I can't see how Iceland will be able to stay competitive in this match. Looking at Germany, they were excellent in the Euro qualifiers with 7 wins and 1 loss in 8 matches. They scored 30 goals, conceded just 7. However, in the Nations League, they somewhat struggled. I would say that they struggled because in their last match, they were destroyed to Spain by 6-0. They were destroyed. That's a very bad result. That was also against a Spanish team that is undergoing a renewal. So they don't have they have all these young talented players, but not much experience in them. So anyway, Germany, they finished at the second spot in the Nations League. They scored 10 goals and conceded 13. That's a new for Germany. We are used to seeing Germany's defense being rock solid, but they conceded 13 goals. So Coach Lowe is on his way out. It's probably going to be either Hansi Flick or Jurgen Klopp that are going to substitute him. So yeah, long story short, Iceland, they were destroyed also in the Nations League. However, they were in a very, very, very tough group, along with Belgium, Denmark, and England. They finished at the bottom with 6 losses in 6 matches. They scored just 3 goals and conceded 17. So there's no other way to look than Germany with -2.25 goals. I mean, I simply don't see how Iceland would stay competitive. Maybe they'll foul a lot, they'll get a lot of cards, maybe they'll try to keep Germany outside, but I don't think that they will succeed. I think that Germany will have a clear path to 3 points here and with a confident performance. So this looks like a 3-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 to me, and Germany with -2 and 3/4 goal.
All right, love it, Nick. I think Pavlos thought that he's getting paid by the word today, but I always love his analysis. I look forward to it each and every show. So, give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, Pavlos hit all the stats he needed to talk about. I mean, I debated making this a 5% play, which obviously means I like the side here a lot, and it's still going to be on my card. I kept it as from a top-rated status, just a little bit because of Lowe already announcing that he's leaving after the Euros this summer as the manager of Germany. What does that do for him here? Maybe, probably not a lot, especially in this game, but it's just a weird kind of transition spot to be in for the players. But listen, Iceland was all the rage back in 2016 when they opened the World Cup with a 1-1 draw against Argentina. But then Pavlos mentioned they've been awful since. I mean, terrible in the Nations League this past time, and actually in both Nations League, because there have been two of them now, they've been awful. Germany, they haven't been as dominant since they failed to make it out of the World Cup, like you mentioned, Carm, back in 2016. They went winless in their 4 games against France and the Netherlands in the Nations League. They did win their Euro qualifying group with Netherlands, although that's with a home loss 2-4 against the Netherlands as well. And then, of course, you mentioned Pavlos. They lost that embarrassing 0-6 loss to Spain earlier this year. But at the end of the day, Germany, much better team. They should win this game handily. What I'm going to be doing a lot in these type of big line games is instead of laying just the line by itself, -2.25, which it is now, is combining buying down the line and then combining it with the total goals market. So if you take Germany, if you buy it down to -1.5 and pair it with over 2.5, you're getting even money. So Germany -1.5 and over 2.5 total goals for the game is even money as a combo parlay. Definitely you can play that. I'm seeing that on DraftKings right now. That's the way I'm going to be attacking this game. And probably a lot of these bigger lines is to buy some stuff down and combo it with the totals market.
All right, love it. Kev, I'm going to give you the final word, but I'm going to throw in that I'm going to put some pizza money on 5-0 Germany, and those odds are plus 1,200. So give me your thoughts on this game.
I think Germany should win fairly handily. The one concern I'd have is, Pavlos mentioned that 6-0 draw, but I don't think it'll be a fast start. Germany have conceded inside the opening first 20 minutes and 3 of their last 4 as well. So they do need to look. Iceland don't present a huge challenge, but they still need to be a bit cautious here. Overall, that's exactly what the Germans are. They're historically extremely cautious in their opening games and new qualification groups. They've won all of their previous 9 opening games to 0. You can see where I'm going with this one. And that's a solid angle here. Germany to win to 0 -150. Iceland have incredibly poor road form. They've lost 7 of 8 on the road. Should struggle here as well on Thursday. And another angle I like is that correct score market. Germany to win 2-0 going off at a plus 500. Those aren't amazing odds, correct score. But I don't know. I don't see the Germans totally running up the score here. Look, win and done. So I do agree with the bookmakers. I think 2-0 is most likely here. But main bet, Germany to win to 0 -150.
All right, love it. Guys, there you have it. 4 games. We're giving you our thoughts and opinions on them. If you want to support the guys, head over to WagerTalk.com and Sports Memo. They have soccer packages up for these Wednesday and Thursday qualifiers. Some 5% plays up for them as well. I will say this, just because it's no longer a play, I did have a 5% play that was that would have been played on Wednesday, but the line has gotten away from us on that one. There's so much volatility in these lines, you have to get them early. So head over to WagerTalk.com and Sports Memo. It's very easy if you guys are following along to find out. Just follow me on Twitter and our Stoppage Time account. We in-game bet these, so you can get some additional information there. It's $2 Tuesday at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. The Prez is the $2 capper at WagerTalk. At Sports Memo, it's one of our newer cappers, Pure Lock. NBA and CBB, he's been killing it. Head over there and pick up those plays for only $2. Guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on Thursday.